Johann's Rebellion Part 2. The capital used Peeta in televised interviews. He called for a ceasefire and warned that the rebellion would destroy Panem. Johanna dismissed him as a traitor. Katniss recognized that he was being forced. Finnick agreed. Johanna ordered Peeta's image removed from rebel broadcasts. We cannot let one prisoner weaken the districts. Katniss became furious. He is warning us. About what? An attack. Johanna hesitated. Moments later, Peeta shouted that District 13 would be bombed. The capital ended the broadcast. Johanna ordered an evacuation. Peeta's warning saved thousands of lives. Afterward, Johanna approved a rescue mission. Not because Katniss had demanded it, because Johanna now understood that Peeta was useful. The rescue succeeded, but Peeta had been psychologically altered. He attacked Katniss shortly after returning. Johanna watched through the hospital glass. Snow turned him into exactly what we needed him not to be. Katniss looked at her. You mean a person you cannot control? Johanna did not respond. Peeta's condition became another weapon in Johanna's propaganda. She wanted Panem to see what Snow had done to him. Katniss refused to allow the filming. Johanna overruled her. For the first time, rebel cameras displayed Peeta restrained and confused while doctors attempted to treat him. Citizens across Panem were horrified. Recruitment increased. Katniss never forgave Johanna. The war of the districts Johanna's leadership made the rebellion faster and more violent. She ordered coordinated attacks on peacekeeper bases, transportation centers, and power stations. District 7 workers destroyed the railways carrying lumber toward the capital. District 5 shut down hydroelectric systems. BT disabled military communications. Gale became one of Johanna's closest strategists. He admired her willingness to make difficult choices. Together, they designed traps that targeted capital soldiers by using a first explosion to injure victims and a second to kill rescuers. BT warned them that the weapons violated everything the rebellion claimed to represent. Gale answered that Snow had never respected rules. Johanna agreed. The dead do not care whether we fought fairly. Prim, now working as a medic, overheard her. The living do. Johanna looked at the young healer. You have never been in a battle. I have treated the people who survived them. Prim reminded Johanna of the family she had lost. For a moment, the rebel leader appeared wounded. Then the anger returned. My family died because people were too afraid to fight. Prim shook her head. They died because Snow believed their lives belonged to him. Do not begin believing the same thing. Johanna ordered Prim transferred away from military planning. Katniss understood then that Johanna was no longer merely fighting the capital. She was silencing anyone who challenged her. The capital falls. The rebellion advanced toward the capital more quickly than expected. Johanna authorized bombing campaigns against weapons factories, even when civilians remained inside them. She argued that capital workers supported Snow's government and therefore shared responsibility. Peeta opposed her publicly. People do not become guilty simply because they were born inside the capital. Johanna called him naive. Peeta responded that cruelty did not become justice when committed by the winning side. The disagreement spread across Panem. Some districts praised Johanna as the leader strong enough to end generations of suffering. Others began fearing what she would do after victory. Katniss joined a military unit advancing through the capital. Peeta, Gale, and Finnick accompanied her. Johanna remained in command behind the front lines. When capital forces used children as human shields near Snow's mansion, Johanna approved an aerial strike. Gale recognized the weapon design. Small parachutes fell among the children. The first explosions injured them. Rebel medics rushed forward. A second wave detonated. Prim was among the medics. Katniss saw her sister disappear in the fire. Hundreds died. The capital surrendered hours later. Johanna called the attack a tragic necessity. Katniss entered the command room covered in ash. You killed her. Johanna stood from the table. I ended the war. You killed Prim. The capital placed those children there. And you dropped the bombs. Johanna's voice became cold. If we had hesitated, Snow might have escaped. Thousands more could have died. Katniss raised her bow. Gale stepped between them. He had helped design the weapon but had not known where Johanna intended to use it. Katniss looked at him with horror. Johanna ordered the guards to disarm her. Finnick and Peeta entered behind Katniss. Neither moved aside. The rebellion had defeated Snow. Now it stood on the edge of another war. The final Hunger Games Snow was captured and placed before Johanna. She wanted a public execution. Coin argued that Panem needed a lawful trial. Johanna accused her of protecting capital leaders in exchange for political support. Johanna then proposed one final Hunger Games. The children of Snow, the game makers, and the most powerful capital families would enter an arena. The districts would watch those who created the games experience the same terror. Many rebel leaders supported the idea. They called it justice. Katniss called it revenge. Johanna gathered the surviving victors for a vote, and Oberya voted yes. Haymitch looked toward Katniss. Finnick voted no. Peeta voted no. Beatty voted no. Johanna voted yes. Katniss stared at her for a long time. Johanna's face carried years of loss, rage, and exhaustion. She had built the rebellion before anyone else believed it could exist. She had sacrificed everything. She had also become what Snow had always claimed the districts would become without the capital. Savage, vengeful, unworthy of freedom. Katniss voted yes. Johanna smiled. For Prim, Katniss said. Johanna believed she had won. The execution. The public execution was held outside Snow's mansion. Thousands gathered while cameras broadcast the event across Panem. Snow stood bound before the crowd. Johanna stood on a platform behind him, prepared to announce the final Hunger Games and assume leadership of the new government. Katniss raised her bow. Snow smiled. Johanna watched confidently. The arrow left the string. It passed over Snow's shoulder. It struck Johanna Mason in the heart. For several seconds, no one moved. Johanna looked down at the arrow. Her expression showed anger before it showed surprise. She fell from the platform. The crowd erupted. Snow began laughing. Citizens rushed forward and killed him before the guards could restore order. Katniss dropped her bow. She had not killed Johanna because Johanna was worse than Snow. She had killed her because Johanna was becoming him. The second rebellion, Johanna's death, did not immediately bring peace. Her supporters accused Katniss of betraying the districts. Several military commanders attempted to take control of the government. Coin tried to position herself as the only stable leader remaining. Peeta revealed documents showing that Coin had supported Johanna's harshest strategies while secretly preparing to remove her after the war. The districts rejected both military factions. For the first time, local representatives demanded open elections. BT used the Capital Broadcast Network to allow every district to participate. No single leader would control the system. Paler, a respected commander from District 8, was elected president. She ordered the arenas destroyed. She also established a public investigation into actions committed by both the Capitol and the rebellion. Gale testified about the bombs. He admitted that he had helped design them. He left District 12 afterward and spent the remainder of his career rebuilding damaged districts rather than commanding soldiers. Finnick survived the war in this reality because Johanna had kept him away from the final underground assault. He returned to District 4 and raised a family with Annie. Peeta slowly recovered from the Capitol's psychological conditioning. He helped Katniss create a book containing the names and stories of those who had died. Prim's pages were filled with drawings of healing plants. Haymitch returned to District 12 and refused every offer to join the government. BT created communication systems that could not be controlled from a single location. No more leaders with one switch, he explained. Katniss never fully escaped what she had done. She remembered Johanna as a victim, a victor, a revolutionary, and eventually a warning. The future of Panem. Years later, students studied Johanna Mason in school. Some textbooks described her as the founder of the rebellion. Others called her a dictator who never had the opportunity to rule. The truth was more complicated. Without Johanna, the rebellion might not have existed when Katniss entered the Hunger Games. Her secret network connected the victors and weakened the capital years before the Mockingjay appeared. She taught the districts that Snow could be challenged. She also taught them how easily justice could become revenge. Johanna had spent so long fighting monsters that she no longer recognized the moment she began thinking like one. Katniss visited District 7 once. A memorial stood near the forest where Johanna had grown up. It did not show her holding an axe or leading an army. The statue showed a young girl before the games. Beside it were the names of the family Snow had killed, Peeta found Katniss standing there. "Do you regret it?" he asked. Katniss looked at Johanna's face carved in stone. "Every day. Do you think she would have become another Snow? I think she believed she was the only person strong enough to prevent that." Peeta took her hand. "That does not answer the question." Katniss watched the trees moving in the wind. "No," she said, "it does not." That was the final lesson Johanna Mason left behind. A rebellion can destroy a tyrant. It can tear down prisons, break armies, and free an entire nation. But victory alone does not create freedom. Freedom begins with what people choose not to become after they have won. In the original story, Katniss Everdeen became the Mockingjay and helped overthrow the Capitol. In this reality, Johanna Mason began the rebellion years earlier. She united the victors. She defeated President Snow. She brought the Capitol to its knees. Then she nearly rebuilt the same system beneath a different flag. Johanna Mason won the war. But in the end, Panem had to rebel against her too. The end. Now the question belongs to you. Which Hunger Games character should receive the next alternate story? What decision, victory, betrayal, or sacrifice would you like to see unfold differently? Share your what-if idea in the comments, and it may become the next alternate reality explored on this channel.